Welcome back to Sugar School, where I will be teaching you exactly how to break up with sugar. In our last lesson, we learned the different kinds of sugar and where you might find them. Today's lesson is how to become a sugar sleuth, and class is back in session. Sugar is often hiding or disguised, so it's important to be a sugar sleuth. As we discussed last week, sugar goes by over 75 different names. If the nutrition label does not list added sugar directly, it can be a challenge to figure out how much added sugar a product contains, or if it has any at all. The first step in becoming a sugar sleuth is turning your item around and looking at that label. To find total grams of sugar in the product, look at the sugars category. It's important to understand that this includes all sugars in the product, both naturally occurring and added. If you look at the label on this gallon of milk, for example, you will see that it does contain 12 grams of sugar. Oh no. But this brings me to the second and most important step in becoming a sugar sleuth. Read the ingredients list. This is so important. We can see by reading the ingredients list that this item only has 4 ingredients, none of which are a form of sugar. From this, we can draw the conclusion that the sugar in the milk is naturally occurring, similar to the sugar you will find in fruit and does not contain any added sugar and is great for you in moderation. Now, let's look at this label for chocolate milk. We can see on the label that the chocolate milk contains 24 grams of sugar. But we want to know if that sugar is added or naturally occurring, right? So this is where you get to do your detective work. If you take a peep over at that ingredients list, you will see that the second ingredient is sugar, and this item does therefore contain added sugar. It can be helpful to keep an index of the different synonyms for sugar handy for when you see the ingredients list and see items that you don't recognize, which is very common. Luckily, your detective work should get a little less daunting in the coming months as legislation requires a new category to be added on the nutrition label, added sugar. This image is a comparison of the old labels and the new labels that you might already be seeing. As you can see, the new label lists added sugar. This will take a lot of the guesswork out of having to do looking at all the ingredients and added sugars and whatnot, and help you root out where the sugar is coming from. The new nutrition facts label can also be a great guide to help you compare and choose foods that are lower in added sugars. If the item contains 5% daily value or less, it is a low source of added sugars. If the item contains 20% daily value or more, it is a high source of added sugars. As you can see, this item would fall into the high source of added sugars category because it has 20% daily value. The third step in becoming a sugar sleuth is do not forget about serving size. As you can see, this liter of Coca-Cola contains 42 grams of added sugar, but that is just for one 12-ounce serving, as you can see right there at the top. If you decide to drink more than one serving, you will need to multiply the number of servings times the grams of added sugar to calculate your total intake. So, if you decided to drink this entire bottle, that would be 42 grams of added sugar times 6 servings, which is a total of 252 grams of added sugar. Well over that American Heart Association recommendation of 25 grams for women and 35 grams for men. Now, there is one very important category we have not gone over yet, and that is artificial sweeteners. The final step in becoming a sugar sleuth is uncovering the artificial sweeteners. These are the hardest to find because artificial sweeteners do not contain calories and will not be listed under total or added sugars. With these, you will have to use your sleuthing skills to decode the label. Let's look at this ice drink, for example. These are a very common, popular diet beverage that comes in all kinds of different flavors. As you can see, there is no sugar listed at all because it technically contains 0 grams of added sugar. But as I peep over at that ingredients list, I see the word sucralose. Sucralose is an artificial sweetener, so this item does in fact contain added artificial sweeteners. Now let's look at just one more item. This is a can of bubbly. It's a super popular flavored seltzer drink on the market right now. I've been seeing them everywhere. As you can see, this item contains 0 grams of added sugar, And when I look at the ingredients list, there's only carbonated water and natural flavor. So therefore, this item does not contain any added sugar or artificial sweeteners. Okay, now you are a professional sugar sleuth. So here's your homework. Look at the food and beverages you commonly eat and drink, and especially the prepackaged items. Decode the labels using the information you just learned, and let me know if you were surprised by anything you found. In our next lesson, I will be teaching you how to beat those pesky sugar cravings. Until then, class is dismissed.